Welcome back to Top 5 Repairs. If you're experiencing rough idle, uneven idle, low idle, high idle, RPM fluctuation, and so on, I'm going to tell you guys some of the possible causes. The first couple reasons why you're experiencing idle issue is going to be a bad or dirty throttle body. There are two different types of throttle body. One is going to be drive-by cable, and the second one is going to be drive-by wire. If your throttle body is a drive-by cable, most likely there's going to be a TPS mounted on it and also an idle control. If the TPS or the idle control fell, it's going to cause idle issue. If you use carburetor cleaner to remove the carbon buildup on the idler control, on the throttle body, and this part of the throttle body, and you clean out the throttle body plate and so on, it can actually fix idle issue. If your throttle body is a drive-by wire, whatever you do not manually open your throttle plate like this because you're going to damage the motor and the gear. So what you want to do is you want to turn your ignition to ACC or radio mode and step on the gas pedal so the throttle plate can open like this. That way you can use throttle body cleaner or carburetor cleaner and clean it. If cleaning the throttle body for a drive-by wire doesn't fix the issue, most likely you have to replace the motor, and it's replaceable if you can remove the screw. But if it's riveted like this, then you just have to replace the whole entire throttle body. The next most common problem is going to be caused by a vacuum leak. Vacuum leak can be caused by bad intake manifold gasket, plenum gasket, vacuum hoses. It can be caused by bad fuel injector seal. You can have bad throttle body gasket or seal. You can have a stuck open EGR. You can have a stuck open PCV. You could have bad brake booster. You could have bad brake booster hoses, and so on. If you're experiencing mild RPM fluctuation and the needle on the RPM bounces slightly like that, most likely you have a weak ignition system. A weak ignition system will create weak spark. Weak spark will affect idle. So make sure your spark plugs are good. Make sure ignition coils are good. Make sure it's not cracked on the boot. Make sure your coil packs are good. Make sure your spark plug wires are good, and so on. The next problem is going to be bad sensors. If the check engine light is on, make sure to check for codes. If you're getting codes for oxygen sensor, make sure to replace the oxygen sensor, and also make sure to check the connection and wires to make sure that is not the issue. The next common problem is going to be caused by a bad camshaft sensor. This one can definitely cause rough idle and erratic idle. The next problem is going to be a bad crankshaft sensor. If your crankshaft sensor is bad, you're going to experience rough idle, and also you're going to experience stalling and no start. The next problem is going to be a fuel system issue. If you have low fuel pressure or you have a fuel delivery issue, of course this is going to affect idle because not enough fuel is going to get delivered to the engine, and it's definitely going to affect engine performance. And lastly, timing. If your timing is off by a tooth or more, this can definitely affect idle. I hope you found this lesson useful. As always, thanks for watching and subscribe to Top 5 Repairs.